Macadamia and banana farmer Tammy Williams was recently announced the 2022 Toyota Kwanalu Young Farmer of the Year. She discusses her road to success with us on Plaas TV today. Now, since 2020, the University of Pretoria has been offering BSc Animal Science students the opportunity to participate in a feedlot challenge. The winner of this challenge was announced last week, and stay tuned for more on this. But first, the news.
Communique exists to serve feed and food producers.
In vandag se nuus, Agri SA het onlangs sy kommer uitgespreek oor die moontlikheid van nog 'n massa sprinkaan-uitbreking in 2023. Die organisasie het die Departement van Landbou versoek om voorkomend op te tree. Hulle meen Suid-Afrika sal waarskynlik verdere sprinkaan-infiltrasies van landbougebiede ervaar. In 2021-22 is meer as 23 miljoen hektaar deur sprinkaan-uitbreking geraak. Dit was die ergste uitbreking in 25 jaar. Soveel as 90% van die 23 miljoen hektaar geïnfiltreerde grond was landbougrond. And SA cane growers has voiced its concern after the announcement that Tongaat Hewlett Limited has entered its South African operations into business rescue. The organisation says this has catastrophic consequences for South African sugarcane growers and the entire sugarcane value chain. This move means that Tongaat Hewlett has lost access to its bank accounts. This, in the immediate term, means that over 401 million rand that was due to be paid to growers will likely not be transferred on time. This will have dire financial consequences for growers as well as the farm workers they support. According to SA cane growers, this situation could plunge thousands of growers and workers into destitution and raises the risk of unrest in KwaZulu-Natal's rural cane growing communities. The fourth sale of the 2022 winter mohair season recently took place in Port Elizabeth. A total of 169,543 kilogram was on offer, 56% of which was sold. According to a report by Mohair South Africa, this sale continued on the same trend as the previous sale, with the buying houses being relatively passive. A highest price of 700 Rand per kilogram was paid for a bale of 25 micron kid mohair. More than 40% of the mohair at the sale remained unsold. And that's today's news. We are looking forward to the 17th of November when the Toyota Agri SA Young Farmer of the Year will be announced, as well as the new Harvest Farmer. Now, we have spoken to almost all the young farmers, but Tammy Williams from KZN joins us now. She is the 2022 KwaZulu-Natal Young Farmer of the Year. Tammy, just give us a flashback of your career in farming. When and how did it all begin?
Thanks, Lisa. So I started out in 2010 working as a receptionist on the farm after I had met my husband. So his family owned the farms, his brother-in-law, and they needed a receptionist down at the main head office. So I started off in that position, and about 6 months later, the boss asked me, they had a gap within the farming enterprise down there. They had no manager, and he requested that I give it a try. I'd become quite interested in the ordering side of the fertilizers and the herbicides and how all the field maintenance worked. So he gave me the opportunity to try and see if I could handle the management of it down there. So that was a very exciting time. He put me down into the fields, showed me the basics of banana farming, and just asked loads and loads of questions, spoke to many, many experts. And I had a Dr. John Robb, who was Mr. Banana, come out every year to come and see me and help me to sort of grow my knowledge within farming, put tasks together for the staff, the field maintenance, how we were going to go forward, and just try and make the fields look cleaner and more productive. So that's basically how I started. After that, I had my son in 2012, and they had a bigger opening at the banana farm up in Inanda, which was 110 hectares of bananas at the time. So I came up here then after I'd had my son and took over that production and maintenance side for him as well. That was quite an exciting and a big jump from 30 hectares. So that's basically how I started out.
So where are all these farms?
So the original farm I started on is very close to the airport. That's Windermere Estate. This farm that I'm currently on now, Sakela, is overlooking the Ananda Dam from the Verulam side.
Tammy, so what do you do today?
So today, Lisa, I run the macadamia side of the farming. I'm very much involved in the spray programs, the field maintenance. They didn't have somebody at the time when they planted macadamias. I think everybody just went on this boom and started planting macadamias, and then we kind of had to get into it and learn the ins and outs of it. I think luckily I'd had the experience of being in the actual maintenance side of the bananas, and that kind of followed through, even though macadamias is a completely different crop, but sort of the groundwork was there. So at the moment, I'm running the macadamia side. I also am the administration manager for the whole of Canelands Estates. There's 5 farms included within Canelands Estates. So I do that, and I'm very, very much involved in the finances, cash flows, but my main focus at the moment is the macadamias. I still help with the bananas, mostly on the production and maintenance side of it, not necessarily the selling and things like I used to do. But it's been quite exciting. I've gone right through from reception to field work. I have tried every single job on the farm myself. So it's been fantastic to be hands-on, and I love that sort of a challenge to try those new things and learn something new. Even the finance side, I had no idea about how the finances work, but I think it does go very, very much hand in hand with your production.
Now, as far as I am aware, banana growers face many challenges and have for quite some time, although you are not so much involved anymore. How do you as farmers face these challenges? And perhaps you can give us an update on the industry?
So, Lisa, we've had a very hard winter with the bananas in terms of the pricing that's been involved. The markets have been jam-packed. There's been a lot of imports from Mozambique, and that tends to come in and flood the markets, which is very much out of our control and something we can't really prepare for. We've also had a 30% price increase in the box, which is a huge increase. When you're looking at sending one load as 400 boxes of bananas. So that's been some challenges, but we've had to kind of look at it and go, well, how can we save on things? Where can we save? We've actually at the moment tried to go more into using crates, because those are now reusable. So you're not losing that complete banana box. It's something that you can reuse again, and then obviously you're saving it in that way. I think every day there's a different challenge, regardless of whether it's bananas or macadamias, and you just have to look at it and try and see the best that you can do to get over those hurdles.
On the other hand, macadamia growers and the industry grows every day. Does this balance things out for you?
Yes, I mean, we we try to plant between 20 and 30 hectares every year of macadamias. So currently we have about a quarter of Sakela estate, which is not productive, which we're waiting for those macadamias to come in. But yes, I think it will eventually balance itself out. I think we're lucky because we have sugarcane, bananas, and macadamias, and the sugarcane price has come up quite nicely in the last 2 years. So I think that's managed to balance it out between the drop in the banana pricing, but also then not having our main macadamias in production just as yet. So yes, I think it has helped.
Tammy, I believe you have a passion for conservation. How do you live and show this?
So I have a real passion for bees. It's something I'm trying to also learn more and more about. I'd love to get into doing some of our own hives one day. I've currently planted a crop called bee basil, which we're putting all over the farm to try and attract all the wild bees to come closer to pollinate our macadamia trees. So that's something I'm very, very much into. I also try and do minimalized spraying, trying to integrate some other approaches. We're looking into doing wasps this year, which will help with our false codling moth, which is something then we don't have to spray for or spray less for. I don't think you'll ever completely get away from the use of chemicals, but I think you can definitely do things to minimize that. In our macadamias, we also use a byproduct from the sugarcane. It's called bagasse. So we put that down the rows of the macadamia so that we don't have to spray as much herbicides and also to hold on to any water. We are all dry land, so that's something that we do to try and help with our water. We get quite a nice rainfall, but it all assists.
Tammy, it was lovely chatting to you. Thank you once again for joining us. In closing, what motivates you every day?
Lisa, I think what motivates me every day is the life up here. It's driving around, being able to see the production. And I think farming is something where every single day you can see the fruits of your labor. Every day there's something different to drive around and see the work that's been done. And it's so visible. And just having my children, I've got 2 small boys, Evan and Bryn, and they just have the most incredible life up here. And they're so blessed to have this farming life. There's so few people now, I think, that get to enjoy that. So it's definitely seeing things on a visual level, but also having my family be able to live this most exceptional life of independence. I've never known children at 7 years old to have just the most incredible independence, to be able to run around the farm and go fishing. And it really is what really drives me.
And that was Tammy Williams. She is the 2022 Kwanalu Young Farmer of the Year. Look out for more news on the national winner after the 17th of November.
Syngenta, bringing plant potential to life.
Goeiedag, verlede week op die termynmarkte het die prys van wit en geelmielies basies onveranderd gebly vir lewering in Desember, met net die geelmielie-prys wat so klein bietjie gestyg het. Koringprys vir lewering in Desember het egter met 1.6% gedaal, terwyl oliesade hulle goeie styging in prys voortgesit het, met sonneblomsaad wat 2.9% duurder geword het week op week en sojabone se prys wat 1.9% toegeneem het. Die olieprys het week op week 'n stewige 5% gestyg, terwyl die rand gelukkig effens versterk het teenoor die dollar met 1.3%, maar dan weer met 2,5 en 0.7% onderskeidelik teenoor die pond en die euro verswak het.
After 3 months, the UP-Agric Feedlot Challenge has come to an end. We're here at the University of Pretoria today to find out who the winners are. So stay tuned for an interview with Professor Edward Webb, as well as one of the members of the winning team.
teach you, but I think all of you know that the only way that we in South Africa will grow our products, will grow our industry, would be by export. Currently, we're only exporting 4% of our products, and we are looking by 2030 to grow this to almost 20%. That's the aim.
So, in third place, we have Tian Besaidenout. So we have Shannon Rose. And Joshua DeCourt. I'm going to have to ask that the team comes and collects it, because the winner is Marlies. Marlies is currently outside of South Africa, that's why she isn't here today. But yeah, thank you guys for accepting on her behalf. Well done, guys.
I'm Professor Webb, and I'm the coordinator for the Beef Management and Nutrition module, fourth year module, and I also coordinate the Beef Feedlot Challenge for the fourth year Animal Science students. So these teams were scored based on their ability to attend to the husbandry practices for feedlot cattle at our beef feedlot at the University of Pretoria. Those husbandry practices included, for obvious reasons, attending to the cattle on a regular basis, feeding the cattle, making sure that there's adequate water, good quality water available, making sure that the animal's general health and well-being are cared for. So those were the most important criteria. The differences between the groups were actually really small. The two winning teams differed by 1 mark, literally. So the 5 top teams were very, very close. And I've got to compliment all the teams because they really outperformed themselves. I think they've achieved much better than they anticipated before the study started. The Madonnas got the first prize because they really cared for the cattle in a unique way by being there and by applying extra techniques, for example, applying brushes in the pens. They got very personal, gave the animals names, which we actually warned them against. But they also made extra effort to get funding for and sponsorship for their team. They got shirts sponsored, they got similar clothing, and they worked very well as a team together, which in my opinion is important. And then they stuck to their schedule to care for the animals. And in caring for animals, one of the most important concepts is to be there, to pitch up. And that I think gave them the first prize.
Ek is Kwanalu ek is 'n finaaljaar veekunde-student by die Universiteit van Pretoria. Ek was deel van die Madonnas en ek's baie trots om te sê ek was deel van 'n groep van 8 dames. So ja, ek moet sê ek dink dit was regtig ons spanwerk. Al 8 dames het ingespring en ons het van die begin af geweet ons het nie die krag wat die spanne het wat die manne het nie. So ons het geweet ons gaan in ander dinge 2 keer so hard moet werk om in te haal waar die ander spanne dalk bietjie uitstaan. So ons het seker gemaak ons fokus op ons rekordhouding en dat ons besig gelukkig is moeite gedoen om vir hulle borsels in te sit en ja, die span het mooi saamgewerk. As iemand nie kon kom nie, dan het iemand anders ingepitch en hulle gehelp. So ja, ek dink dit was die spanwerk. Al die meisies het saamgespan en ons beste gegee.
BKB, die betroubare tuiste van landbou. BKB, the trusted home of agriculture. Elanco, we are driven by our vision of food and companionship enriching life.